Welcome to this MySQL 101 video. I'm Lefred, and today we're going to see specific data types, numbers, how we can store numbers in MySQL. So when we discuss about numbers, we have two types of numbers, integers numbers and the numbers with a decimal point. So float decimals like that, right? So to store integers in MySQL, we have multiple data types available, and it will depend on the value we want to store in this data type. Why do we have these specific different types? It will depend about the size or the value we want to store it and the amount of storage they're going to use, storage on disk or in memory index for the pages, right? So in MySQL, to store these integers, we have tinyInt. So this is a type we use to store small values of integers. So the range is from minus 128 to 127. And it uses 1 byte only. Then we have small int that uses 2 bytes, medium int. The most known one, it's int or integer that can store values already quite large, as you can see, and it uses 4 bytes of storage. Then, if we want to store very large numbers, we use big int. So as you can see, big int, it's a very large value. But if this range is not enough and you only need positive numbers, so no need of negative, you can use this unsigned keyword. So when we use unsigned, we remove all the negative part and we use all the storage available to store positives, meaning we will double the value plus 1. So if you remember, tinyInt was minus 128 to 127. Now, if you do unsigned, this tinyInt will become from 0 to 255. And you can see it doubles the capacity of every data type for integers. Something also very important, it's that you can see with the big int unsigned, this number is very large, and this is what we use when we create a primary key if we need a table that is very, very large. For example, when you use MySQL with generated invisible primary key, GIPK mode, this is in the backend what it creates. So it creates an unsigned big int, in fact. So here in this example, you see I created an int unsigned auto-increment primary key for this table. Another keyword that was common in MySQL, it's zero fill. So zero fill has been deprecated in MySQL 8, and if you try to use it, you will have this warning message that you can see here now. Now, if you want to store decimals, numbers, or number with a decimal point, you have two types. So the one with a fixed point, so where we know exactly where the decimal point needs to be, and how many digits they are before and after the comma, or the floating point type where it's an approximate value. So decimal, or also known as numeric, can store the exact decimal value with what the user specified as precision and the scale, right? So for example, if we do decimal with 10 and 2 as parameter for the decimal, it will mean that we can store 10 digits and 2 of these 10 digits will be after the decimal point. The maximum is 65 digits for decimal. So for decimal, these columns are also stored using binary format, and they pack these digits by 4 bytes. And also what it's before and after the decimal point are divided. So it means that if we use decimal 18 and 9 as parameter, what it means that there will be 9 digits before and after the decimal points. 9, it's 4 bytes, so it is 4 bytes and 4 bytes. It means it will use 8 bytes to store this decimal value. If we use 20 and 6, meaning that there are 14 before and the decimal point and 6 after, it will use 4 plus 3 and 3 again, so it's in 10 bytes. Now, if you want to also store decimals, but you don't know really where the decimal is, and you have an approximate value, we use float. So float will use 4 to 8 bytes to store the data, depending on the precision, right? And it uses one single parameter. So in this example, in the first line, you can see that I use float 7. Before, you could also define and specify the amount of digits after the decimal, but this has been deprecated for floats. So we don't use that anymore. And in MySQL 8, we have also deprecated other terms or other types that were almost synonym. It is double precision, and real. So now in MySQL, you have to store all the integers value, the decimals, or float. That's it. So thank you for watching and see you soon for the next video. Bye.